And the Leon Lion offense is going to come back onto the football field. Somewhere along the line, it was touched by a Godby Cougar player. And so Leon sliding on top of the football will take over as it's going to go down as a muff punt / fumble for the Godby Cougars. And we're going to get a little stoppage of play here. 6.5 to go here in the second quarter. It's a grind 'em out defensive battle. Leon with phenomenal field position. We're going to jump out for a quick commercial break here in the Varsity Sports Network High School Game of the Week. Andrew Jupe here from Gene Cox Stadium. Come right on back.
Let's get back to living and let White as Snow Cleaning and More help you along the way. White as Snow Cleaning and More is committed to a higher standard of clean. Our staff is both professional and dependable. Whether it's residential or commercial, no job is too big nor too small. Call us for a free estimate, 850-866-2031. White as Snow Cleaning and More is committed to a higher standard of clean so you can get back to living.
And welcome back to the Varsity Sports Network High School Game of the Week here on VSN Tallahassee. It's a little Thursday night special. The Leon Lions and Godby Cougars. And don't believe the rumors of what you heard this season. It's a new season every week. And the Leon Lions giving the Godby Cougars all they can handle right now. Centel DeShazier, the junior quarterback, slips out of a couple tackles and keeps on trucking inside the 20-yard line. And by far the best drive so far, or the best field positioning, that Leon has had so far. Of course, we had a touched punt as it was rolling down the field by one of the Godby players. And so the Leon Lions jumped on top of it. And so, like we said before the break, it is essentially a fumble on the play. And Leon Lions now with the football deep in Godby territory. 2nd down and 2 to go here with 5:45 left in quarter number 2. DeShazier out of the shotgun, snap, 7 men on the line. It's going to be a read option to Hepburn, and he's going to be stuck in the backfield there. Jedrick Henry on the bring down among others there for the Godby Cougars. And so it's going to be a 3rd and about 4 here for the men in red and white to get the conversion. Of course, at the 20-yard line, it would be about a 37-yard field goal attempt if they were to go forward with it, which is definitely in Jack Brooks's range. But, of course, don't rule out this offense with DeShazier heading things up. Oh, some movement on the line. Is it offense? Is it defense? And it's going to be offsides on the Cougars, and the penalty yardage will make it a 1st down here for the Leon Lions.
That will result in a Leon 1st down.
So back to the 15-yard line, or up to the 15-yard line, I should say, as Leon continues to march and take time off the clock here. This is a playbook for a successful Leon Lion outcome here in the early going. We are less than 5 minutes away from halftime here in the early going. Just over 30 minutes of game time expired. DeShazier once again out of the shotgun. He's going to rush to the left. It's a keeper. He slips through the first wave and inside the 5. And DeShazier off to the left. It's going to be 1st down and goal for the Leon Lions.
Picks up a 1st down, 1st and goal, Leon.
Of course, coming into this one with 264 yards and 5 touchdowns on the ground, but the way he's picking up yardage is here in the second quarter. He may break that wide open, but he's stuffed this time off the right side. Devontae Blyther's on the bring down, the junior defensive end with the stop on the right side of the Godby Cougar defense, and it looked like the junior ran into a brick wall dressed in blue on that one. It's going to bring up a 2nd down and goal, this time from the 6-yard line for the Leon Lions. by far the best field position in the farthest into Godby territory that they've been all night. It's going to be 5 men on the line, 2 H-backs, 1 to either side. Sidecar right is the fullback, Andrew Ritter. 1 wide receiver to each side, left and right. Left is Bass, right is Myrick. DeShazier looking over to the sideline. Play clock has expired, and Leon is going to call a quick timeout. So we're going to go ahead and take one with them here. Varsity Sports Network High School Game of the Week here on VSN Tallahassee. Be right on back.
Is Sports Thread, and this is the new free Sports Thread app, changing recruiting forever.
Once again, here we go. Know the name, know the flow.
The first social network made for athletes, where you can show your talent.
Thought I was weak, huh? You ain't see the work I put in all week, huh?
And where you can be seen by athletes, fans, and coaches nationwide. Upload all your stats to the app. Get exposure to college coaches. Get clout. And get certified with a check mark that will change your life. Join the squad. Download the Sports Thread app today. Sports Thread, it's always free.
Back here for the Varsity Sports Network High School Game of the Week from Gene Cox Stadium on the south side of Tallahassee. Andrew Jupe here for the broadcast Game of the Week. It is the first of 2 installments of the Game of the Week this week. Of course, if you're a fan of St. John Paul II or NFC, come right on back with us tomorrow. We'll be in the Eagles Nest, the home of North Florida Christian, for a great ball game in the lower classifications. But until then, we got some of the big boys in the public schools here down on the south side. DeShazier, the Leon Lions, trying to break this scoreless tie we currently have. It's going to be a read option to Hepburn. He's going to be stretched down, and it looks like a tackle for a loss of about a half a yard.
Third down.
So 3rd and goal from the 7.5, 8-yard line for the Leon Lions after Sweet makes the tackle for a loss. So ball is closer to the right hash mark here from that 7.5. Leon going left to right here on your streaming screen. However you may be joining us, smartphone, tablet device, smart TV, thank you for coming aboard. Here for the Varsity Sports Network High School Game of the Week. It's Bass and Myrick out wide, switch out, and it's going to be Ritter into play fullback here for the Leon Lions. And play clock down to 0. Did they get the timeout or is it a delay of game? Delay of game on the Leon Lions. So drop them back 5 yards to the 12-yard line. That's going to be a crucial one here for Leon. Of course, still in field goal range. This would be right around a 39, 40-yarder if they were to attempt it from here. Or excuse me, it would be right around a 29, 30-yarder. Of course, well within Brooks' range. So split them out, 7 men on the line, 2 wide receivers, Bass and Myrick. Shotgun snap, read option to Hepburn. Keeper by DeShazier, and here comes trouble in the form of the Godby Cougar defense. And it's going to be Shedrick Henry as well as Reginald Smith, the senior and senior team. Makes a big stop here. Going to bring a 4th down for the Leon Lions. So do they try to get on the board with Brooks? They do. They'll bring out the senior kicker here. And so officially, it's going to be right around a 34-yarder. Season long for Brooks is 46. So he loads up here, trying to break this scoreless affair that we have. Low snap, Brooks' kick on the way. It is up, and he pushes it left. We're going to stay scoreless here from Gene Cox Stadium, as the Godby Cougars will take over the football. Now both teams turning it over on downs here this evening. And it's an old school defensive knock 'em out battle here Thursday night football. And Godby going to take over. 1:44 to go in the second quarter before the half. Of course, Godby will get the football in half number 2. I believe the Cougars still have 2 timeouts, if my stats that I've been keeping here are correct. So still an opportunity for Sims and the Cougars to march down the field. The righty, nice bootleg to the left. And they say incomplete pass, looking for Kenneth Kelly, who is Sims's favorite target offensively. Of course, Kelly coming into this one with 3 touchdowns. Sometimes he'll pop in the slot. Sometimes he'll be an external receiver. He'll be all over the place just trying to get him the football. But the clock will stop. Here it's going to be, should be second down, though. The side markers are saying first down still. Sims wants to go deep, taking a shot down the field. And once again, looking for Kelly, this time over in the middle. And incomplete once again will bring up third down for the Godby Cougars. Only 12 seconds coming off of the clock so far in this Godby Cougar possession. So something to think about if you're a Leon Lion. If the Cougars decide to pass this one again, they could be getting the football back from halftime. So we'll see what Coach McCray and the offensive tutelage under Coach Evans has in store here. Having some faith in the freshman Sims, trying to find the big Vanderbilt commit. And the Leon Lion defense gets in there and makes things difficult. Elijah Nash, the senior, getting in there and causing some trouble. It's going to bring up fourth down.
Fourth down.
So it's going to bring on Hankerson and the punt team here for the Godby Cougars. And that drive, a total of 17 seconds going off the clock. So 1:27 still remaining here for the Leon Lions. One man back to return. I believe it's Malik Jackson. A high towering punt here from Hankerson. It's going to bounce and take a Leon roll at about the 48, and it will be down to the 45-yard line. So with 1:19 to go here before halftime, Leon another opportunity to strike as they start their second drive. Or it's the second time they will be starting their drive in Godby territory. So, of course, 45 yards to the end zone, but realistically, we talked about Brooks. Unfortunate missed field goal by him. But still, probably only need about 15 to be within his range. 15 yards, that is. So we'll see what Leon has in store. They'll go empty back set. First time we've seen this tonight. They'll go 3 wide motion. And it looks like a false start here by the Leon Lions. One too many bodies moving there for Leon. So it'll back them up 5 yards here. Of course, back to the 50-yard line. So now you're looking at about 20, 25 yards to get into range that you're comfortable wheeling Brooks out there. So they'll put 6 back on the line here. 7 back on the line. Motion coming, read option. DeShazier trying to spin towards the center of the field. And he's dropped. It looks like a loss of 1 on the play. So the clock will continue to run. A couple timeouts still for McCray if he wants to use them, but he may wait till after the second down play and then the third down play if his defense is able to stand tall. Until then, we go sub 1 minute to play as we once again get a flyover here at Gene Cox Stadium. 3 wide. 7 on the line here. DeShazier all by his lonesome. And the give on the end around to Myrick. Find a little real estate. Penalty flag on the field. Cowan will usher him out of bounds. That's in the area of holding. We'll look to keep an eye on what the field is. And we'll see what the indication is here from the referee at midfield. And it looks like the Godby Cougars will go ahead and decline the penalty is what the signal from the sideline looked to be.
Leon, that penalty is declined.
It's a holding penalty as Coach McCray, Coach Colson go over there and say, we don't want those penalty yardage. We want the loss of down. They say 3rd down now, 34 seconds to go. And now potentially an opportunity if Leon decides to keep it in the field of play that that Godby could utilize a timeout, try to save some time for a last shot at an offensive possession here, half number 1. Empty back set, DeShazier, 7 men on the line, 3 receivers, 2 to the right, 1 to the left. Motion coming near side, it's Bass. It's going to be a read option. DeShazier on the keeper, try to get Bass on the perimeter. Another penalty flag down as a great pursuit there for the Cougars. It's going to be Shedrick Henry, the 6'2 junior linebacker, on the drop. They'll consult Coach McCray here, and he might decline this one as well. We'll see what the indication from the sideline is. Once again, going to decline the penalty. Bring it up 4th down. So, of course, typically you do not see that, but Coach McCray wisely does not want Leon to replay the down, including the penalty yardage, which they would have done had he accepted the penalty. And so this allows him to save a little time once again in order to try to jumpstart a final offensive possession before the halftime break here. Of course, Godby will get the ball to start the second half of action, but in a close defensive game that's not going to have a lot of offensive possessions if the second half looks like the first half. Both of these teams, especially Leon, really bleeding the clock here and trying to drain as much time off the clock as possible. We'll see what Coach and the gang have planned for us here. Is now Leon on a 4th down to go. Of course, coming up in halftime, we'll recap the action. We may have a score to tell you about before the halftime break, and we'll also preview some of the area games as we go around the bend here, as we like to call it. Of course, I believe there's 9 area games going on this week. 3 of our teams on byes, but the rest of them rocking and rolling in action here this week. Brooks getting ready to snap it off here. Just a football, gives it a blast. 2 men back to return. They'll let it take a bounce inside the 10 and down to the 8-yard line. Good field there by Malik Jackson, making sure it does not go into the end zone. So Godby backed up all the way to their own 8-yard line here with 18.7 seconds to go before the halftime break. Of course, both bands on standby here. The Leon Lions marching redcoats over here on the home sideline, getting ready to go side by side with the Godby Cougar football team right now. Godby deep in their own end. We'll see what the freshman has in store here for Godby before the half. Max protect, look. It's going to be a read option going far side. Pitch out to the perimeter, cutting back into the field of play over the 20. Nice pickup there. Picks up about 8 yards on the rush there by the freshman Tristan Davis. And a little bit of extracurricular activity here. Kawan Banks wisely going over to a couple teammates and ripping them away from the pile to avoid any infractions. 2 teams a little bit of jawing there, but there is a flag on the play. And it looks like Coach McCray being consulted here on the near side, which would indicate a Leon penalty, but we shall see what the official ruling is here. Personal foul on the Leon Lions, and I'm sure Coach McCray is going to accept that. So that is massive here for Leon. So they pick up massive here for Godby. A huge gain on the rush by Davis. Tack on 15 yards. And they move the ball all the way up here to the 38-yard line. So a successful sequence for the boys in blue. And now you have the opportunity, maybe 2 plays here if you can get about 20, 25. See if the freshman has enough to sling into the end zone. He wants to go deep now. He's not waiting for it. It's caught. And oh my goodness, from downtown, it's a 62-yard touchdown strike And it's the freshman phenom able to hit his favorite target, the junior Kenneth Kelly from 62 yards. And the Godby Cougars strike right before the end of the halftime break, and the freshman puts it right on the money, and the junior Kelly takes care of the rest. Godby on the board first here from Gene Cox Stadium on senior night. And so it's going to bring up the senior kicker Hernandez in for the point after attempt, so they'll look to see if they can get a mismatch here and go for a two-point conversion. But if they don't see an obvious mismatch, they'll motion back into the regular kicking formation here. It's the senior Michael Francis on the hold, senior Hernandez on the kicking attempt. The righty from 20 yards on the extra point. Snap is fumble, diving on top of it. The ball is still loose. Leon on top of it. And so it'll go in the book as a failed conversion. Oh, 1, 2, 3, 4 penalty flags now. They're raining in like fireworks here from the referees. Every referee on the field throwing the penalty flag as a scuffle post extra point breaks out here, and a little bit of jawing going on. You can tell this is an all-city matchup here. Some of the coaches fired up, and that's how we will go into halftime. So an absolutely wild way to end this first half. Godby gets the ball, picks up the penalty yardage, and the Leon Lion defense, who'd play a largely phenomenal first half, lets up the big play. 62 yards to Kenneth Kelly.
The next unsportsmanlike penalties against those players will result in ejection. The penalties offset, and at the half, Godby Cougars 6, Leon 0.
So if you heard the PA announcer, of course, offsetting penalties will send us into the halftime break, but not before the damage was done. Cougars go in with the advantage, 6-0 Godby. We're going to jump out for a quick commercial break and come right back on the action, do a little recap, preview some other area games going on this week, and we'll get things rolling here. It's the Varsity Sports Network High School Game of the Week here on VSN Tallahassee. It's Andrew Drew. Come right on back.
When you're a star high school student athlete, you compete tirelessly on the court and in the classroom to achieve your one dream of playing in college. Top schools recruit you and even offer you a scholarship. Then senior year hits, and you find out that the class you took actually doesn't count. Your GPA is .25 off, or your SAT score is 10 points too low. All because your counselor, your coach, and your parents couldn't make sense of the rules. And by the time you find out, it was too late to catch up. Boom. Game over. Honest Game is the clear pathway for getting in. We automate the process so the student, the parent, the coach, the counselor, and the college all get real-time eligibility updates. With Honest Game, everyone knows what to do before it's too late. In the last 20 years, total athletic scholarship money has grown from $2.5 million to over $3 billion. With the NCAA on the verge of allowing student athletes to earn money on their likeness, recruits and college coaches will more than ever need to know their eligibility status. Learn more at honestgame.com and let the dream live on.
There's not a lot of places you can go where exactly what they put on their signs is exactly what you get in your food. So many people think that the way I eat and the way I train and a lot of things I do in life are because of sports. I want to be as healthy 50 years from now because every day that God gives me, I want to make the most of that.
Clean juice, healthy, fast, organic food.
Moss Acura is simply the best around, and this year our goal is to be the best Acura dealership in the nation. At Moss Acura, every vehicle features Moss Care, exclusive to Moss Acura. Moss Care provides added features and benefits to both protect and enhance your investment. Benefits such as lifetime oil changes, tire rotations, identity protection, and so much more. Plus, with all things being equal, our goal is to never lose your business over price with our best deal guarantee. Moss Acura, whatever it takes. Moss Nissan is simply the best around when it comes to selling or trading your vehicle. Right from the comfort of your home, office, or even your cell phone, you can get top dollar for your vehicle in seconds. Just visit us online, enter your current vehicle's license plate number, VIN number, or year, make, and model, and receive top dollar in seconds. We'll even come to you with a check in hand. It's that simple. Turn your car into a pile of cash today. Moss Nissan, whatever it takes.
Is SportsThread, and this is the new free SportsThread app, changing recruiting forever.
Once again, here we go. Know the name, know the flow.
The first social network made for athletes, where you can show your talent.
Thought I was weak, huh? You ain't see the work I put in all week, huh?
And where you can be seen by athletes, fans, and coaches nationwide. Upload all your stats to the app. Get exposure to college coaches. Get clout. And get certified with a check mark that will change your life. Join the squad. Download the SportsThread app today. SportsThread, it's always free.
Let's get back to living and let White as Snow Cleaning and More help you along the way. White as Snow Cleaning and More is committed to a higher standard of clean. Our staff is both professional and dependable. Whether it's residential or commercial, no job is too big nor too small. Call us for a free estimate, 850-866-2031. White as Snow Cleaning and More is committed to a higher standard of clean so you can get back to living.
And back here from Gene Cox Stadium here, halftime of the Leon Godby football game. And it's the marching Redcoats here from Leon High School, serenading us here at the halftime break. Of course, the Godby Cougars up 6-0, but plenty of reason to be entertained and cheery here for the Leon Lions. A 6-point game at halftime. Great defensive effort here in the first half. And as time expired, the only points scored in this ball game were, of course, on that big touchdown right before the end of the half for the Leon Lions. So, of course, we talked about it in passing a little bit here. If you're just joining us from the other side of the break here at halftime from the Leon Lions Godby Cougar game, as the the Leon Lions marching band going off the field. As time expired, it was a 62-yard touchdown from the freshman Christian Sims to Kenneth Kelly.
Ladies and
in a
gentlemen,
thrilling way to end the first half.
please welcome the Amos P. Godby Marching Cougar Band. They will be performing their 2021 MPA show entitled Broadway, with hits from Hairspray, The Wiz, and The Lion King.
So the Godby Cougar marching band now coming on at the halftime break here after the performance by the Leon Lions. And like we said, up 6-0.
Drum majors Melvin Grice
are
and
the
Troy
Godby
Clark,
Cougars.
is your band ready?
And so we're going to let the Godby Cougar marching band take over here for a little bit as you enjoy the halftime
You may
performance.
begin your 2021 MPA performance.
And you can see we're still at halftime here for the Varsity Sports America High School game of the week. Currently the Godby Cougars marching band still serenade us here at the break, and a fantastic performance by them as well as the Leon Lions marching redcoats earlier in the half. Like we said, as promised, we're going to try to give you an update here from around the bend while we have an opportunity here at the halftime break. So, of course, around the bend, for those who aren't typical attendees of the program, is where we preview all the area games here in the Big Bend of northern Florida, which goes from the west of Gadsden County all the way around to Taylor County. So, of course, we have 17 schools participating in that coverage range. 3 of them on the bye this week. Of course, Gadsden County after a big game last week versus Niceville. Childs and Florida High after a big win versus Trinity Christian last week are all off. So that means that we still have 14 others in participation this week, including the 2 that we have here tonight, as both teams looking to pick up their second victory of the season. But we'll keep on rolling down for other games in the area. Osceola Christian and Bell High School will be going at it. Osceola coming in at 4-3, Bell at 3-5. Kind of up and down seasons for both teams. Common opponents is St. Francis and Franklin County. But according to the preview from the Tallahassee Democrat, the consistency of Osceola should be something to watch here offensively. Another matchup on the slate here, McClay and FAMU DRS. Typically an annually good rivalry matchup. Of course, under the new head coach, Willie Williams, as the athletic director steps in for the interim head coaching duties at FAMU DRS.
Let's give a great round of applause.
They will play McClay. DRS looking for their first victory on their season. McClay coming in at 2-4. On the road, Wakulla will head out to 1-5 Arnold. Of course, a big win last week versus West Florida in overtime for Wakulla. Keeps them perfect in the district. And so the War Eagles will look to keep things rolling. They come into that matchup at 5-2. Arnold at 1-5, like we said. Wakulla on the road. Big one for them as they try to lock down another victory. They could push to 3-0 in the district. And it would, at minimum, lock up a share for the district crown. Of course, they would win the de facto tiebreaker with West Florida, if that's who they were to tie. But it would pretty much lock up the district and the automatic playoff bid for Wakulla, which would be a big time for them. Of course, they are in Godby's district, Class 5A, District 2. Going down the line, a couple county schools going at it tomorrow. Jefferson County at Taylor County. 2-5 Jefferson. Going to travel to 1-2 Taylor. Of course, Jeffco coming off a tough loss at Sneeds last week. Looking to rebound for a good rivalry out to our east. Jefferson County out of Monticello headed down to Perry in Taylor County. Another team on the road, Monroe, the Bobcats, 5-2 on the season. Nearly pulling off a big one against Pace a couple of weeks ago. We're off last week. They're going to head down to Bronson, who's coming off a 43-0 thrashing of Franklin County. Of course, the Bobcats still rocking and rolling. They're in the 2A classification going up against 1A Bronson. The Bobcats will look to rebound after dropping 2 of their last 3. Going against some good dropping their last 2. Going against some very, very good teams in their last 2 matchup, including Pace High School, a 7A club from the Panhandle, as well as a couple weeks ago, Autauga Academy from Alabama, who at the time was 5-0 when those two teams played. Another game that's an annual affair that's fun for one of our Big Bend teams is going to be Madison County and Columbia. 4-3 Madison County, up and down year, but the Cowboys are healthy. They're back with the whole squad. Should look good against a 6-2 Columbia. It's always a fun game in that matchup. So it should be a very competitive, typically high scoring. The last couple games have both been in the 30s, was the victor. So going to need to score some points in that matchup. That one will be at Boot Hill, though. Madison County alternating with Columbia in the home-and-home series. Another one of the big matchups here in town tomorrow night, Lincoln and Rickards. Both teams coming in at 5-2. Of course, Rickards, a tough one versus Mosley last week, fell 28-13. Lincoln picked up a big victory against Choctaw here at home last week at Gene Cox Stadium on Friday night. Both teams going for city bragging rights and trying to play for the first time, I believe, since 2019. I think the 2020 matchup was canceled due to COVID-19.
Godby Cougar fans, are you ready?
The PA announcer tries to get us rocking and rolling for half number 2. And we also can't forget about our second half of the doubleheader. For the game of the week, it's going to be North Florida Christian and JP2 going at it this week. 5-3 NFC, 5-2 JP2 in a nice 2A battle in Tallahassee. Should be a fun one up on the north side. We'll get ready to get rocking and rolling here. The Leon Lions, Jack Brooks, and the boys are ready to lift things off here for half number 2. So let's waste no time in getting into the action here as second half on the way. And we're off. Leon Lions kickoff here is blasted deep to the Godby return man over on the far side. And it's Singleton trying to weave his way in and out of traffic. Push back inside the 20-yard line is where the Godby Cougars will start off. Half number 2, quarter number 3, is the Godby Cougars leaving the field with fireworks. The last time that they were out, of course, that huge 62-yard touchdown from Christian Sims to Kenneth Kelly, the last offensive play from the Cougars. So we'll see if they're able to continue that electricity here in quarter number 3. So the freshman will come out with a pistol look. 3 wide receivers. Gillespie behind him. Give is to Gillespie. Line going to the left. Gillespie going to dive back up the middle. Picks up a good 5 yards there for the Cougars on first down.
Tackle made by number 45, Victor Howard.
So
second down.
Gillespie, of course, the Vanderbilt man, coming in almost 600 yards and 10 touchdowns. Averaging over 5.7 yards per rush. Quick hitter. Sims looking for Kelly. A little too tall. It's going to be an incomplete pass here and set up a third down for the Cougars. Gillespie totaling over almost 1,000 yards. He's got almost 600 and almost 350 receiving. 600 rushing, 350 receiving. So getting very close with 11 total touchdowns. Here's Gillespie with a big chunk. Lowers the shoulder over the 40, and it's going to be enough to move the chains for the Godby Cougars.
And that's going to be enough for Godby Cougar. First down.
So looking good and a heavy dose of Gillespie. Didn't see many rushes from him. Of course, Leon played a lot of keep away in half number 1. Godby going to stretch it out of the 3 wide receiver look. H-back behind the line to the right. Quick hitter to Kelly. Sims to Kelly, a connection we've seen 3 or 4 times tonight. Penalty flag coming in late. This could be a late hit here. Would be a first down with the yardage anyways for the Godby Cougars. And it's going to be after the play, personal foul on the Leon Lions.
That'll be a 15-yard penalty added. And say it with me, another Godby Cougar first down.
And so after the big pickup through the air and the penalty yardage, the Godby Cougars are rolling all the way down already to the 31-yard line behind enemy lines in Leon Lion territory. Sims out of the pistol. H-back left is tight end Hangerson. 3 wide receiver set, 2 to the right, 1 to the left. Godby going right to left here in half number 3. It looks like a pre-snap penalty, and it's going to be a false start on the offense.
First down.
So they're going to replay first down here on the pre-snap penalty here for Godby. Looking to capitalize on the momentum they went into halftime with, as what was a pretty sound first 23 minutes and 50 seconds. Almost flawless for the Leon Lions defense, but of course the one gash at the end, the devastating one, but still a one-possession game here. 1 tight end, 3 wide receivers, tailback out of the pistol, give to Gillespie, diving forward inside the 35, back towards the original line of scrimmage, but it's going to set up about a 2nd and 12.
Tackle made by number 60, Kieran Major.
Good tackle there by Majors of the Leon Lion defense. Godby in no rush to get things rolling. 10:25 on the clock here in the second quarter of action. Sims out of the shotgun, 4 wide this time. Quick hitter out to the perimeter, slipping through a tackle, makes another man miss. Open real estate, fighting for the first down and then some. What a fantastic effort on the reception there. The quick screen, Jamichael Holloway, the sophomore, making something out of nothing, gets a big gain off a small screen. It's going to be enough for a Godby Cougar first down. So good work there by Holloway, as it looked like he was going to be hit in the backfield. And that's what the young quarterback loves to see, is his wide receivers putting in the work. And it's going to be a handoff for Gillespie, dropping the hammer out to the left with some real estate into the end zone. And he's able to rush into the end zone. Gillespie caps it off from 19 yards out. As you can hear the PA announcer say, we're seemingly on one mind here on the touchdown call. There's Gillespie, punches it in from 19 yards out. So the Cougars once again will line up in the mismatch formation, see if they can catch Leon off guard. They go ahead and snap it, dive up the middle, and the conversion is successful. 2 points succeed for the Godby Cougars. They'll get it back to 14-0.
Extra point for 2.
Tag on the touchdown and the 2-point conversion. Cowan on the conversion, so it was a 19-yard rushing touchdown by Chase Gillespie.
Your Godby Cougars 14, Leon Lions 0.
And it'll stretch it to 14-0, as you can hear. So back-to-back scores here for the Godby Cougars. 1 to end the first half, 1 to start the second. The old 2 for 1, as they say. And it puts the Godby Cougars with a 2-score advantage over the Leon Lions. Gillespie getting in the end zone, had a phenomenal week last week against Pensacola. 14 rushes, 171 yards, and 3 touchdowns in that game. Of course, add on 16 receiving yards. He was pushing 2 Bills total yards. Like we said, 3 times he crossed the threshold into the end zone. First score here today. But a good way to start the second half here for Gillespie. So Hernandez, the senior, off to kick it for Godby, as the boys in blue will look to give it back to the Lions, now up with their largest lead of the game, 14-0. So lift off here from Hernandez, goes right down the middle. Picked up full head of steam here by the tailback for the Leon Lions, Hapwell, and he's got a little real estate. He's over midfield, and an excellent return by Hepburn on the run back here for the Leon Lions.
By number 3, Xavier Singleton. Leon.
So it sets him up with good field possession after DJ Hepburn gets about a 35-yard return for the boys in red and white. Set him up with phenomenal field position here. The third time they will start their drive in Godby territory. Of course, getting a field goal attempt out of one and a turnover on downs out of the other. So the Godby Cougar defense, when their backs are against the wall, have succeeded. Still a goose egg on the board here. They've now had 6 consecutive shutout quarters against opponents. DeShazier out of the shotgun, finds a crease in the blocking here on the right side, inside the 40, still trucking until he stood up, stops forward progress there, does DeShazier. A couple men on the tackle is going to be Shedrick Henry and Devontae Blyer. Couple Cougars in the mix there, but a good pickup there by DeShazier, who's been the lead horse in pulling the Leon cart here this evening. Of course, DeShazier playing quarterback. Last year plays tailback as just a sophomore for this varsity team. Started the season as tailback as well, but it looks like Coach Jan saw something he liked and now has put DeShazier in as quarterback. Godby getting antsy on the defensive line. Looks like it's going to be an offside, and it is.
Offside, Godby. That'll be a 5-yard penalty.
And it looks like it's very close to the first down marker. They're going to call it 2nd and inches. Ball placed at the 34-yard line. 2nd and inches. So we will have a pause of play here, as Coach Jan would like a further investigation of the down and distance. And the referees take a second look and they say move the chains. So first down by way of penalty as Leon continues to keep marching down the field here. Ball on the 34-yard line. DeShazier in a crowded backfield. Hepburn sidecar left. 2 H-backs, 1 to each side. Split wide receivers. 5 men on the line here for Leon. In no rush. Play clock down to 5. DeShazier. Clap and snap. Give is to Hepburn. He's going to get to the 35 and then stood up by a whole wall of Godby Cougars. There to set up a 2nd down and long for the Lions of Leon.
2nd down.
So they're going to huddle up. Play coming in here by way of Bass from the sideline to DeShazier. 7:30 and counting here in quarter number 3. Of course, Leon able to take the air out of the ball here. Hepburn, the tailback's going to split out. He's slot to the left. Keep an eye on him. DeShazier out of the shotgun. Yet to attempt to pass here tonight. He'll plunge forward, and he gets forward to about the 32-yard line. Pickup of 3. It's going to set up a 3rd down and about 8 to go here for the Leon Lions. So like we said, DeShazier doing the vast majority of the work here. Set up 3rd down. Under 7 minutes to go here, quarter number 3. Cougars now up 14 here in the second half. Kind of a similar game to what we saw last year with that 22-3 victory of Godby. Leon able to get on the board late in that matchup. We'll see if they're able to get the scoring shoes on here. DeShazier is drugged down. Excellent rush there by number 8, Jamal Sweet, the 6'2 senior. Great pursuit coming off the edge and making the drop there of the quarterback. It's going to set up a 4th down. So the ball's currently at the 32-yard line. It would be a 49-yard field goal attempt. Oh, from 49, and they bring out the right footer. They say he's got the range. This would be the longest high school field goal I've seen in person here. I've heard legends of high schoolers north of the border going 50+, but this will be a first here in the Big Bend. And it looks like we have a stoppage of play here.
Timeout, Leon.
Timeout, Lions. That'll be their first timeout of this half. So they will have 2 remaining. Here's maybe Coach Jan wants to think of this one over a little bit. It'll be a 4th down and 8 for the Leon Lions. Yardage to gain is the 24. Like we said, Brooks does have the range here. The only trouble with a long-distance kick is you got to keep it low to get the right trajectory in order to get the distance to knock it over the crossbar. You can't do a high towering kick that you would do from 30 or on an extra point that you could just chip over the line, no problem. This one, you got to keep it low. Godby does have a couple of field goals blocked this season, so you got to watch the rush on the perimeter, got to watch the surge from the jumping man in the middle. But Brooks is going to attempt a long-distance one. This would be a season long. Loads it up from downtown. It's going to have a chance at it. It's got the distance, but he pushes it just wide. And so Brooks unable to cash it in. Had the leg, though, so good looking out for him. Able to get the distance, but just to the right of the right upright of the south end zone. And the Godby Cougars will take over still with a 0 on the scoreboard for their opponents. So 6.5 quarters and counting that the Godby Cougar defense has shut out opponents here as they've really locked it in starting last week in Week 8 against Pensacola and keeping the train rolling here in Week 9 against city foe, the Lions of Leon. So 5:40 to go here in the third quarter of action. The freshman Sims is going to lead the Cougars back out. They're going to go 4 wide. Little trips action here to the left. Pistol look. Gillespie behind Sims. Give to Gillespie. And they part the sea. Good blocking by those receivers on the perimeter. Over the 35. Great rush by Gillespie. He'll pick up 15 and moves the chains.
And a Godby Cougar first down.
So keep it rolling as they continue to feed the big Vanderbilt commit here in the second half. Getting a steady diet of the football here in half number 2 with a 2-score lead. And it'd be very hard-pressed to find a tailback to take you into the sunset. Then Gillespie here. He'll get the rush again. Stood up about the 36. Penalty flag coming in late. It would be a 1-yard rush here as they stand up forward progress, but of course the penalty flag is going to have a lot to tell about that one. Holding on the offense for the Cougars.
And will remain first down.
So the penalty will be marked off 10 yards from the spot of the foul. So it's going to be right around the line of scrimmage, so it should be right about a 10 or 11-yard infraction, and it's going to be almost exactly 10 yards. As that one, of course, took place at the line of scrimmage. So from the 25-yard line, the Cougars will get rolling. It's first down and 20 here. You're going to replay first down. Here, third quarter of action. 5:15 and counting. The freshman Sims, quick hitter out to the perimeter, hits Kawan Banks, the South Carolina commit.
Pickup of 6.
Primarily known as a defensive back the last couple years, but of course this year getting a little more exposure and runtime here on the offensive side of things is Banks, and he's proved to be a solid target in the passing game. Coming into this one with 19 receptions, almost 300 yards receiving. Touchdown, averaging over 15 yards a reception as a receiver. Quick hitter, it's Holloway. Once again, doing some damage in space. Up to the 40-yard line, pickup of right around 9. So they'll make up all of the penalty yardage in that one and a little more.
By number 7, Messiah's pass.
Set them up with a very manageable 3rd and 5 at their own 40.
Pickup of 10, third down.
Need to get to the 45 to move the chains. Still on their own side of the field. Ball on the left hash mark as Godby goes south to north geographically, right to left on your screen. Sims stepping up into the pocket, hits the slot. Ball caught over midfield and then some inside the 45. Jonathan Texter Scott, the senior, on the reception.
And it'll be enough for Godby Cougar first down.
So move the chains. Godby able to keep this thing rolling. 44-yard line, now in enemy territory on the Leon side of the field. Ball dead center with Wise right on top of that Rickards Raiders blue and gold logo. And it looks like an offside. Oh, they're going to give false start here on the Godby Cougar offense. So back them up 5. Back to the 48.
5-yard penalty, first down.
So a little movement on that offensive line. I mistakenly thought Leon was lined up offside, but a little jump from the boys in blue. So they'll look to recover with another shot at first down. They're going to go 4 wide here from the 48. Sims out of the shotgun. Gillespie into block, and he delivers a fantastic block to give Sims some additional time. You got to love a running back who can lay down some good blocks in pass protection. And the Vanderbilt commit did so there. Ball intended for Kelly. Unable to connect with the freshman. He's going to set up a second down and long here for the Cougars. Of course, the Cougars, like we said, trying to extend their win streak. Currently 9 in a row, 9 straight since 2011 over the Leon Lions. This would push it to 10 in a row as Sims drops back, hits a screen pass for Gillespie. He's got a little room to work with. 15, first down inside the 30-20. Hesitation move, stiff arm out of bounds. And Gillespie with a monster gain inside the 15.
There are 2 penalty markers on the field.
If it stands, it'll be a gain of 30+, but of course, penalty going to play a large factor in the outcome of this one. Late hit or holding the 2 lead candidates here over on that far sideline, typically that we see on this type of screenplay. Waiting for an initial ruling, and it is holding, block in the back, excuse me.
Holding on the Cougars. That'll be a 10-yard penalty from the spot of the foul. And will remain second down.
Wow, so take the 34-yard reception off the table here. Holding penalty will be accepted by Coach Jane and the Leon Lions, and so it'll be 10 yards from the spot of the foul. Moving Godby back to their own 44. Need to get to the Leon Lions 34. So it's exactly 20 to go here. Sims out of the shotgun, 4 wide. Davis stays in to block. Throw over the middle. And it's caught by Banks with a little bit of real estate. Hesitation inside the 30, and Banks picks it up. Unbelievable. Well, I would say unbelievable, but it is believable. The freshman puts it right on the money, lets the South Carolina commit do his thing. And inside the 30, first down they go as the Godby Cougars to keep things trucking. And, man, how about the maturation and the season performance of Christian Sims? So far this season, only a freshman for Godby. If he hangs around, he could have a historic career for the Cougars. False start for the boys in blue. Like we said, Sims coming into this one over 1,200 yards passing. And he's definitely over 100 here tonight. By the time this game's final, he'll probably be up around 1,500 yards for the season. Will be the young freshman. To think, once again, just 4 or 5 months ago, he was playing middle school football for Raw High School. Tristan Davis into the game, Sarkar right. He's a fellow freshman. And it's going to be a keeper from Sims. He's got some real estate inside the 30. A couple of the big boys corral him as he gets to the next level of the Leon Lions defense. Dropped by Nash on the play. Makes up most of the penalty yardage as he gets back to the 30-yard line. So it'll be second down at about 11 here for the Cougars. They look over to the sideline, little formational change. for Godby. Still Davis, the tailback. Sometimes they'll split Gillespie out wide, but it looks like Gillespie on the sideline. Banks is far side in the slot. You have Holloway and Kelly here near side. Davis will stay in a block. Sims over the middle. Holloway inside the 20. And, man, he is a tricky man to tackle in space. The sophomore having a really fun game out here. Holloway, he's going to be a player to watch if you're looking for the future. Keep an eye on number 80 here the next season or two, and even this season, really. Jermichael Holloway, some fantastic plays in space, making some young man miss, and it'll move the chains for the Godby Cougars. First down and 10 from the 17 of Leon. It's a 2-score ball game. Cougars trying to push it to 3. Full house look. Give to Gillespie. Davis, the lead blocker. Gillespie from 17. And it's Gillespie's second touchdown of the game. 5 touchdowns now in the last 7 quarters for Chase Gillespie. 1:20 to go here in quarter number 3. And the Godby Cougars starting to pull away here. 3-possession ball game. Looking for the fake here early. And the senior's going to go for it. Throw back fade to the corner. Looking for looking for Kelly, but it's incomplete. A little too tall on the pass, and it'll be unsuccessful. But still, 20-0 is the score count. 1:20 to go. And we're going to jump out for a quick commercial break here. The Varsity Sports Network High School game of the week. A good one. Down here on the south side, Cougars up 20-0.
Let's get back to living and let White as Snow Cleaning and More help you along the way. White as Snow Cleaning and More is committed to a higher standard of clean. Our staff is both professional and dependable. Whether it's residential or commercial, no job is too big nor too small. Call us for a free estimate, 850-866-2031. White as Snow Cleaning and More is committed to a higher standard of clean so you can get back to living.
And we're back here from Gene Cox Stadium. Godby Cougars fresh off another score, their second of the quarter, third of the ball game. Of course, outscoring Leon 22-0 so far here tonight. Thursday night football, first half of our high school game of the week set, 1 of 2. Of course, if you are interested in another football game tomorrow night, you're a fan of Godby Cougars and Leon Lions, the boys have off tomorrow. Feel free to tune in. St. John Paul II and NFC. Should be a high-scoring affair. 2 teams that love to throw the football around. Should be a fun one tomorrow night. But in the here and now, DJ Hepburn on the return, and the Godby Cougars swallow them up. It's Bryce Cowan and Chedrick Henry running down on the up team. And the Leon Lions will start this drive deep in their own territory with 72 seconds remaining in quarter number 3. So see what the Leon Lions have here. Still, I believe, have not attempted a pass so far here tonight. Keeping this one on the ground. They will start from their own 14-yard line. 86 to go to get into the end zone. And it's getting around that time where it's a 3-possession game. You got to start thinking about potentially being in 4-down territory, needing some big plays due to Leon Lions. High snap to DeShazier, and Godby's on top of it. Jamal Sweet going to lead a charge. Also Jeremiah West, the junior defensive lineman, in on the action.
Second down.
Also getting in there late as well is Malachi Owens, almost the whole defensive line. Eventually getting in the area of the ball carrier there. So back to the line of scrimmage about. So it'll be a second down and 10 here for Leon. who are looking to put some points on the board and keep this one within striking distance. Godby looking to shut him down. DeShazier trying to catch him off guard, and it's a big reception to Bass all the way up to the 38-yard line. You're waiting for the pass. They pick up a big chunk play there, of almost 20 on the reception there for Bass. And it'll move the chains here for the Leon Lions, but a quick reaction there for DeShazier, finding the open man and keep things rolling. Leon's going to need a lot more of those chunk plays to stay in this ball game here. 23.8 seconds, pushed out of bounds, clock will stop. First down, rolling here, 3 wide receiver look once again. DeShazier makes the first man miss, but here comes man 2 and 3. Malachi Owens in there, Cowan in the area, as well as Reginald Smith, the senior middle linebacker. So once again, a couple Cougars getting involved there, and that should take us to the end of quarter number 3.
And at the end of 3, your Godby Cougars 20, Leon Lions 0.
There you go, as you hear the PA announcer. End of the third quarter, Godby 20, Leon nothing. We're going to take a quick commercial break here on the Varsity Sports Network High School Game of the Week. Andrew Jupe here for Gene Cox Stadium. Come right on back.
This is Sports Thread, and this is the new free Sports Thread app, changing recruiting forever.
Once again, here we go. Know the name, know the flow.
The first social network made for athletes, where you can show your talent.
Thought I was weak, huh? You ain't see the work I put in all week, huh?
And where you can be seen by athletes, fans, and coaches nationwide. Upload all your stats to the app. Get exposure to college coaches. Get clout. And get certified with a check mark that will change your life. Join the squad. Download the Sports Thread app today. Sports Thread, it's always free.
And back here from Gene Cox Stadium, Andrew Jupe, the Varsity Sports Network High School Game of the Week here on VSN Tallahassee. Thanks for coming aboard with us. Entertaining ball game. Little double trouble this week, Thursday and Friday. Football on the way. Here for the Thursday night game, Leon Lions, Hepburn cutting through traffic on the read option give from DeShazier. Great second effort by Hepburn, but they're going to say forward progress. Initially stopped back at the 42-yard line. And so it's going to set up a second and long here for the Leon Lions. So they're right on the Godby Cougar paw print there on their own side of the field. So Leon going to be going from right to left on your screen here in this quarter, south to north geographically. Need to get to their own 48 to move the chain. So 6 yards to pick up here on third down. DeShazier out of the shotgun. 2 H-backs and Hepburn sidecar right. 5-man offensive line. Looks like a delay of game unless Coach Jan got in the timeout.
Delay of game.
And it is a is a delay of game on Leon. So back them up 5 yards. It'll take a 3rd and 6 back to a 3rd and 11, which a team that needs to score here in quarter number 4 is going to create a big uphill battle. 11 minutes and 6 seconds to go in this ballgame. Godby up 20. 3-possession ball game here. So Leon needs 3 touchdowns and at least 2 two-point conversions. Split out, going 4 wide, 2 on the play clock. DeShazier just gets it off, and he'll be brought down. Once again, it's Owens and West on the drop.
By number 90, Jeremiah West.
And he's slung down there. DeShazier a little slow to get up as the big boys just landed on him there. And to bring out the punting unit here for the Leon Lions. So once again, Jack Brooks coming on to the field, and I believe it's Cohen. Or no, sorry, my mistake. It's Xavier Singleton, the senior defensive back, to return the punt here for Godby. Oh, but it looks like they're going to try to bring the house and block this one. Oh, and a stoppage of play here. Is that a timeout from Coach Jan?
illegal substitution by the Cougars.
Well, they might have had an extra man on the field. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yep, 12 men on the field for the Cougars. So penalty yardage on Godby. It'll push Leon back up to the 44. And so now it's only, or excuse me, the 43. Now it's only a 5-yard conversion. And so Jack Brooks does have a couple pass attempts on the season, so be wary of a fake. Godby looks like they're bringing the house here. And they bring 9. Brooks able to get it off. He will punt. It's going to the deep man. 1 bounce, and Singleton scoops it. Outside the 25, makes a first 2-man miss to the 35, spins out of another one. And Xavier Singleton, an exciting return there for Godby. We'll give them a charge and to take over to the offense. This will be their first offensive possession of quarter number 4. Under 10 minutes to go here from Gene Cox Stadium. Ball is going to be on the 38-yard line on the Godby side of field. The boys in blue going left to right here in quarter number 4, north to south geographically here at Gene Cox Stadium. Tristan Davis is going to be the tailback. He'll be sidecar right of Sims. 3 wide receiver set. H-back to left is Hankerson. Give to Davis. Surges up the middle. And the freshman rolling out to the 44-yard line. Great pickup. And they're going to give him the 45-yard line. So pickup of 7 to get rolling here. So a nice little rush there by the freshman tailback, number 23, Tristan Davis. So how about that? The backfield, the freshman Sims, freshman Davis. You know, Coach McCrae's smiling there on the Godby sideline with his talented youngsters. Davis off the left-hand side, another good rush. He's going to pick up about 8 or 9. Once again, move the chains.
Pick up of 8 and enough for Godby Cougar, first down.
And we have a stoppage of play here. Injured Lion on the play. I can't exactly see the number, but it looks like number 45, which would be Victor Howard. So unfortunate for the injury there. We're going to jump up to a quick commercial break here while we have an opportunity on the Varsity Sports Network High School Game of the Week. Godby 20, Leon nothing.
Moss Acura is simply the best around, and this year our goal is to be the best Acura dealership in the nation. At Moss Acura, every vehicle features Moss Care, exclusive to Moss Acura. Moss Care provides added features and benefits to both protect and enhance your investment. Benefits such as lifetime oil changes, tire rotations, identity protection, and so much more. Plus, with all things being equal, our goal is to never lose your business over price with our best deal guarantee. Moss Acura, whatever it takes. Moss Acura is simply the best around, and this year our goal is to be the best Acura dealership in the nation. At Moss Acura, every vehicle features Moss Care, exclusive to Moss Acura. Moss Care provides added features and benefits to both protect and enhance your investment. Benefits such as lifetime oil changes, tire rotations, identity protection, and so much more. Plus, with all things being equal, our goal is to never lose your business over price with our best deal guarantee. Moss Acura, whatever it takes.
Back here, Cougars rolling once again. It's a quick hitter out to Hankerson in space. Over to the 35 and able to move the chains.
And enough for Godby Cougar, first down.
And able to move the chains on senior night. The senior tight end getting a good pickup there. Able to get deeper into Leon Lion territory. Ball now marked at the 35. 8.5 and counting here in quarter number 4. Pistol formation. Davis still back with Sims. Give to Davis. A lot of real estate on that left side. Strings the defense out. Hesitation. And is stood up after about a 3-yard rush.
Pick up a 4. Second down.
And so a 4-yard pickup, they'll say, here on first down. Set it down, 2nd and 6. Here as Godby continues to run this clock out. We know go sub 8 minutes here. As Sims comes back into the formation with the play. Kelly, Banks, And Texter Scott, your wide receivers. As far as the personnel, Hankerson's going to be on the end of the line, the tight end. Davis and Sims in the backfield out of the shotgun. Sims dropping back. The righty wants to go deep. Oh! And he's looking for Texter Scott in the end zone, trying to get another big strike. And it'll fall incomplete pass. Good defense there by the Leon Lions secondary. I believe that was Damian Russell, the junior cornerback, keeping that one out of the end zone. Number 9, and yes, it is Damian Russell. 7:33 now to go here in quarter number 4. Third down here for the Cougars in Leon territory. Give to Davis. Beautiful little option there. Lowers the shoulder. Penalty flag on the field. Right around the 30-yard line. And that is a dangerous location if you're a fan of the boys in blue here on third down. So we'll see what the official ruling is, and it is holding. So 10 yards from the spot of the foul. So not from where the play finished, but where the infraction occurred. So they're going to mark it off, it looks like right around the 30 of Leon. So they should put the ball right around the 40 as they replay third down here. And they will. Nose of the football on the 40-yard line over on the left hash as Godby continues to go north to south geographically. Left to right on your screen. And it's going to be Davis. 5 wide set now. They're going to bring in Holloway. Or excuse me, 4 wide set as Holloway comes in. And a bootleg to the right for Sims. Throws and pass is caught. It's by Banks. He's over the 35. Forward progress at the 32.
9 yards. 4th down.
Bring up a 4th down here. And you might think about it. Coach McCray going for it potentially. This also could be around the range of Hernandez. Hernandez does have a season long of 43. This would be a 48-yard attempt. So not out of the question to bring out the senior kicker, but it looks like Coach McCray says keep the offense on the field. And he's going for it. Kelly, Holloway, Banks, Texter Scott, your wide receivers, going from top to bottom. Davis sidecar left out of Sims. Double freshman backfield. Sims holding, delivers. Beautiful strike there to Kelly. Catches the ball and keeps on trucking inside the 20. To the 16-yard line. So Coach McCray rolls the dice, and how about the freshman standing in there, 4th down. Beautiful route tree by the receivers. Good space created there by Kelly, and the freshman puts it right on the money. So the Cougars now in the red zone. Keep things rolling. They'll go back to a 3 wide receiver set. They swap out Holloway for the tight end, Hankerson. Give us to Davis. He's going right down Main Street through traffic inside the 5. A fantastic rush by the freshman.
Davis, pick up of 12, and another Godby Cougar first down.
And keep on trucking here. First and goal, as you heard the PA announcer, as they continue to keep this train rolling, trying to push it to a 4-score game, which might push it out of reach. Handoff to Davis, finds a crease on the cutback, and the freshman from 5 yards out, Tristan Davis, into the end zone.
Tristan Davis, 5 yards on the carry.
And shout out to the big boys up front there, created a great lane. Chauncey Kamakea, Jamichael McCants, and some of the other big boys on the line do the often thankless job on the offensive line, but created a great avenue there for Davis, and Davis knew right where to go, and that was into the end zone. So the Cougars currently up 26-0, and it is a 4-possession game now. Hernandez for the extra point.
Hernandez is on for the extra point.
Up and good.
The snap is good, the hold is good, and the kick is good. And with 5 minutes, 40
So 27-0, the score count, as you can hear, quarter number 4, after the 5-yard rushing touchdown by Tristan Davis.
And supporters of the Cougars, feel free to visit the concession stand and partake in a slice of cake as we celebrate our seniors.
27-0, cake in the house tonight for the Godby Cougars. Update for the volleyball scene.
Purchase a drink, or 2, or 3.
Couple big volleyball games going on in the area. The Lady Eagles from North Florida Christian have captured the 2A District 1 Volleyball Championship, defeating Rocky Bayou in 4 sets, 25-21, 25-21, 23-25, 25-23. So, of course, we'll be up at NFC for the football game, but the ladies taking care of business on a Thursday night. District champs, the NFC Eagles. And the kickoff off and away, low screamer from Hernandez. It'll go out of bounds as Bass lets it trickle over the sideline. So we'll see if Coach Jan wants to make him re-kick, or he'll take this one from the old penalty spot. And it looks like they're going to bring the offense out here. And so it looks like he'll accept the penalty yardage from the mark-off and get things rolling here from the 35-yard line. Taking the penalty. Ball went out of bounds about the 3. So 32-yard difference, of course. And the Leon Lions trying to get a scoring drive here. They've been close a couple times. Trying to get off the goose egg here late in the 4th quarter. Only 5:45 to go in this 48-minute contest. Godby all over it as Hepburn takes the rush there. Pick your Cougar in on the action there.
Second down.
Sweet. Everett also coming in. Alonzo Pointer, the junior. Godby Cougar defensive line really trying to seal the deal and trying to lock up a second straight shutout. So you usually do pretty good when you don't let other teams score. Godby staring 8 scoreless quarters in the face and a 2-game winning streak, which would be their first of the season. But Leon still a little bit to say in that regard. Hepburn gets the rush, and Godby bringing the wave again. Jamal Sweet
Tackle for loss.
in on the action there. Jamichael Francis also in there. Excuse me, Michael Francis.
Third down.
Of course, plays quarterback, also outside linebacker sometimes, as the Cougars defense continues to stand tall. 3rd and 14. Here to go for the Leon Lions. 4:27 and counting remaining in this ball game. As like we said, Cougars trying to get on that 2-game winning streak. After this, only one more game to go. Just have a final district game they have to iron up.
Timeout, Leon.
Make sure they get all their district games in, and then they will be sitting off the final week of the season. Allow themselves to hopefully, in their respect, get healthy for the playoffs. So we'll see. Of course, we want to see as many of those Big Bend teams as we can in the postseason. And so we talk about some of our area Big Bend teams. So let's take a peek at around the bend here. Some matchups you can anticipate going on this weekend of interest. Of course, we talked about opponents in their district. Wakulla and Arnold, 2 of those teams, they'll face off. McLean DRS, Lincoln Rickards, Taylor County, Jefferson County. Some fun ball games this weekend. Madison County, Columbia. Monroe and Bronson, Osceola and Bell, and you can't forget our game of the week tomorrow, NFC and JP2, which we are really excited for. DeShazier, a throw, it hits the fullback Ritter out of the backfield. A good pick up there, but going to be way short of the first down. It'll bring up 4th down to go here for the Leon Lions, but not out of the question if they wanted to go for it. It's going to be a 4th and about 7.
Number 24, Andrew Ritter. 4th down.
Coming up on 3:30 to play here. 4th down and 7. They're going to bring out the punting unit. So once again, Brooks will take a field. Once again, I don't know if they'd go for it, but Brooks does have a couple pass attempts on the season. Wouldn't be surprised at a punt here. Singleton and Banks back to return for Godby. Oh, jumpage on the line. Was it the offense is the defense? They say it's on the D.
Cougars, 5-yard penalty. 4th down.
So it makes the conversation perhaps a little more interesting as this pushes it to a 4th and 2. You know, an opportunity to go for it here for Leon, and it looks like Coach Jan will take that opportunity. Punting unit and Jack Brooks off the field. Offense with Santel DeShazier back on the field here from the 43-yard line. Of course, they need to get to the 45 to move the chains. Still have 3 minutes to work with. If they're able to convert this and keep the drive alive, could get on the score sheet here tonight. Could the Leon Lions? They center up and get ready here. DeShazier out of the shotgun. 3 wide receiver set. 2 H-backs into block here for Leon. Keeper, rush off the right-hand side. DeShazier gets through to about the 48-yard line. And Leon able to move the chains, so the penalty yardage essentially helping keep the drive alive as Leon changes it up, goes forward on 4th down, and able to convert and move the chains as they approach enemy territory. 3 minutes to go here in the Thursday Night Football game of the week. Substitution coming here for the Godby Cougars. Brandon Cohen, the senior linebacker, sprinting on to the field of play for this defensive set. Same look here for Leon. 3 wide, 2 to the left. DeShazier out of the shotgun. Heels on his own 42. Penalty flag. It's a false start here for the Lions. So back them up 5 yards. Put them on the 43 for 1st and 15. 2:38 remaining in quarter number 4. And the clock will once again get rolling after the penalty infraction. So now, less than 150 seconds remaining in this ball game.
All-star, Leon.
Another false start on the play here, so be 1st and 20 now. As we can continue to march forward in this football game as Godby locks this one up, essentially. Here as we go sub 2 minutes. Leon trying to break the scoring drought after scoring 16 last week against Forest from the Ocala area. DeShazier, rush of 3, will be stopped by the Godby Cougars. So ball marked on the 41-yard line. And it looks like a stoppage of play. I believe Godby called the timeout. The indication wasn't very clear, but I believe that's the first timeout here for the Godby Cougars this evening. So we'll see what Godby has on the slate for their upcoming football season. Like we said, just the one game after this. This is their 9th game. They will play Arnold next week. They will be playing here in Tallahassee,
hot
though.
dogs and hamburgers are discounted. This is a great time to stop by the concession stand on your way home.
So, of course, an extra day of rest before they play Arnold on the 29th. That will be a district game.
At the concession stand.
Shotgun look here for DeShazier. 2 wide receiver set. Give to Hepburn on the read option. He's going to stretch out to the perimeter. Pushed out of bounds after a small gain. Will set up 3rd down. So on the other side, of course, just the 1 game remaining for the Godby Cougars on the 29th. Let's switch over to the Leon Lions side of things, see what they have coming in the future. So, of course, extra day of rest, and they'll have a big rivalry matchup against Childs High School. Of course, Leon is the home team in that matchup, so they'll play either here or at Leon. Most likely playing on campus of Leon High School, I believe. But we'll have to get clarification on that. And then to finish out the season, they'll play John Paul II at home, a very good JP2 team who we'll see tomorrow night. So if you're a Leon Lion faithful, looking to do a little scouting for St. John Paul II, come back for our game of the week tomorrow night and check out and see what you can expect here for St. John Paul II. They'll play NFC up on the north side. Should be a fun contest there. So in the here and now, it's going to be 3rd and 1, 2, 3, 4, 14, 3rd and 14 from the Leon 44. They need to get to the Godby 42 to move the chains. Of course, the penalties being the big burden Leon having to carry in this drive. See if they're able to get out of it. Still a minute 40, an opportunity for them to score and wipe the 0 off the scoreboard. DeShazier, same 3 wide receiver, 2 halfback. Look, football's on the ground, and it is batted around. Godby scoops it up. It's Jamal Sweet. He's got an opportunity for a sack fumble recovery, and he pushes it all the way down to the 10-yard line as the Godby Cougar defense comes up huge, and the big man, Jamal Sweet, almost gets into the end zone as he was stumbling, bumbling, rumbling down the sideline. And you got to love when the big men get in there and take up a little real estate. A shot at a touchdown there, and you can see Sweet hyped up on the sideline, deservedly so. He's been after it all night and a huge part of this Godby defense, as often the guys on the line, either side, not getting much credit, but Sweet putting in a fantastic football performance tonight. So max protect look here, and it's going to be a handoff, gaining some space, dragged down, and a couple yard rush there by the Cougars to start on 1st down.
2nd down.
So 2nd and goal from the 8-yard line for the Cougars, who, if they really wanted to push the issue, could turn this into a 5-score game. Of course, don't get style points or scoring differential points in the playoff rankings, but why not? Tristan Davis in for the score for the Godby Cougars. 8 yards out from Davis's 2nd touchdown of the ball game, and the Godby Cougars put another exclamation mark on this one as they now push it 33-0 over the Leon Lions. So the extra point, though, of course, line up, look for an immediate mismatch. And if not, they'll switch into the regular extra point formation. So they go to the extra point. Here comes Hernandez off the upright.
And the PAT by Hernandez is no good. And with 50.7 seconds remaining in the game, the Godby Cougars 33, Leon Lions 0.
The P announcers say 33-0. Godby Cougars now lead. Tristan Davis, 8-yard rushing touchdown. So the backs, the main two backs, each with a pair. Davis, 2 touchdowns. Gillespie, 2 touchdowns. 4 on the ground for the Godby Cougars. And, of course, the firework 62-yard touchdown reception from Kenneth Kelly. The 5 scores here for the Cougars. A big one going here so far for Godby. An exclamation mark as they start to get things right for the second half of the season. And they've looked stellar their last 2 ball games. Outscoring opponents 62-0 in their last 2 contests. Hernandez looks like he's trying to implement a little pooch kick here. And does. It's going to drop right about the 37-yard line. Legal procedure there.
On the Cougars. Leon will take over 1st and 10 from the 40-yard line.
They look like they found a gap in the defense that they liked and went ahead and tried to attack it there. And unfortunately going out of bounds. So, of course, an opportunity to take the penalty location and the penalty yardage here to be up at the 42. So Coach Jan will go ahead and take that one. And Leon back on offense here, 50.7 seconds. So still time to get that first score. I'm sure the Cougars defense would like to keep that goose egg and make it a full 8 quarters of shutouts. Have not allowed a score in this little winning streak. Hepburn jammed up, still twists and turns.
Wiggins on the carry.
Back to the line of scrimmage. And it was Wiggins, my mistake. On the rush here for Leon. Jalen Wiggins, number 20, 5'9" senior. So 2 wide receiver look coming here for Leon. And it's going to be a snap here, give, and rushing up the middle.
Wiggins on the carry.
Gets up to almost midfield.
Play of the ball game, ladies and gentlemen.
And final play of the ball game.
Cougars will be victorious and ascend to the top of the mountain. Senior night. Godby Cougars 33. Leon Lions 0 is your final. Thank you for coming out tonight, ladies and gentlemen, and supporting both of these programs.
So as you can hear the PA announcer say,
as the Cougars take on Panama City Arnold. Thank you for coming out tonight, ladies and gentlemen. Please buckle up and drive home safely. Good night.
and so PA announcer signing off here for the emphatic victory for the Godby Cougars. As you can see, 33-0 is your final score line. A big one here for Godby and some big playoff points. If you're a Godby Cougar fan, that you hope that they were able to lock down here and go forward with a big victory. Now a winning streak for the Godby Cougars.
Be sure to stop by the concession stand, ladies and gentlemen. Grab yourself a hot dog or a hamburger. Grab 2, grab 3, grab 4. Thank you. Good night.
And here we go, all final. Godby Cougars now 2 wins in a row here, 33-0 tonight. Of course, last week 29-0. So allowing no scores in their winning streak here. An opportunity to keep the dream alive. They'll play district opponents next week. Arnold from the Panama City area. So keep an eye on that one. Of course, Leon will play Charles next week. Both teams with home games in that one. Should be a fun contest, whoever you're a fan of. But thank you for coming aboard here for the Varsity Sports Network. game of the week. Kenneth Kelly, Chase Gillespie, and Tristan Davis, your touchdown scorers. Gillespie with touchdowns 2 and 3. Davis with touchdowns 4 and 5 for Godby. Kenneth Kelly, the 62-yard reception just before halftime, got the scoring started, broke the deadlock, and got us to our 33-0 final. And Godby continues the streak now, 10 straight victories over the Leon Lions since 2011. And that'll about do it for us here on the Varsity Sports Network High School Game of the Week. But just as we wrap up, we want to make sure that we plug our Friday night High School Game of the Week. That's right, we get to double dip this week. Come right on back tomorrow night. Game starting at 7. Pre-game starting at 6:30. We'll get things rolling from the Eagles Nest on the north side at North Florida Christian. See the other games going on in the area tomorrow night as well, as we are final here. Leon falling to 1-6. Godby improving to 2-7. Leon versus Childs and JP2 to end the season. Final game of the season next week for Godby. They will play Arnold. For Andrew Jupe, this has been the Varsity Sports Network High School Game of the Week here on VSN Tallahassee. Like we said, you got to come back tomorrow night. Any updates and of games in the future and future developments, make sure you check us out at VSN Tallahassee on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Thank you for coming aboard for the broadcast, and hopefully catch you tomorrow night. If not, have a fantastic rest of your weekend.